Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Marieta, founder of ImmigrationBiz. Hi from San Francisco. Today I want to talk about briefly what is the easiest way to move to America. In my opinion, as an immigrant and also as an immigration lawyer. So this is gonna be Q&A. You can ask me the questions, and I'm happy to answer all of your questions. I hope it's not noisy. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know who is there and where are you from, and then also what is your question. So to start with, the relatively easiest way to come to US is if you apply for a student visa. So in order to get a student visa, you gotta be enrolled in school, and there are different schools, obviously, different programs. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You can in fact be enrolled in ESL school, which is English as a second language. You want to study English, and you need to have I-20 form in order to apply for a student visa. So once you're in the US on student visa, then now if you are on OPT, which is actually optional practical training for people who graduate universities, then you can work, which is a big deal because it's not that easy to find to actually obtain a work visa in the US. So if you can work on OPT, it significantly increases your chances to find number one US employer, or you can start a business. So the path to move to US, if you ask me what's the easiest path, I would say go with student visa, and for several reasons. Number one, you need to improve your English skills in order to be in this country, in order to work here, and you also need the qualification. Now, if you are already someone who has pretty good background, is professional, and possibly found US employer, then you can consider various other visa types, such as L visa if you work for a multinational company and the company is transferring you overseas to the United States, or if you found a US employer who can sponsor you on H-1B. Even though H-1B is a little bit specific, it's another story. We can have a conversation about H-1B different day, different time. Or maybe you are someone who is already managing a business in your home country and you want to expand, you want to open an office here, then you would qualify under L visa. Maybe you are someone who is thinking about starting a business, maybe a startup. Maybe you are in school and you think about starting your own startup. Then I would recommend to check E2 investor visa or entrepreneur rule, parole, 2-year parole, in case you are raising funds or you have already successfully raised funds. Very important note, if you are here on ESTA or you are here on B visa, you shouldn't work. You shouldn't work on this visa unless there is an exception. And this exception is called B in lieu of H-1B, which is a situation when, for example, you are employed by a company in your home country and the company is sending you to the US for a specific project, and the company from your home country has a contract with, for example, another company in the US, and they're sending you to the US to work on this particular project, and you will be paid by the company in your home country, which is actually your employer. Then in that case, in that situation, you will be in the special category. It's called B in lieu of H-1B, but it's not necessarily work visa like regular work visa, H-1B work visa. People here. Dogs. I'm in the park taking break. Let's see let's wait when these guys go and then I'll continue. I'm great, guys. Thanks, Usman Mohammed. Whoever is there, hi guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer your questions. So feel free to ask. Thank you so much for your hearts and your likes. It's a sunny day here in San Francisco. It's actually very hot, to tell you the truth. Hot means like very warm compared to the normal weather that is standard weather in San Francisco. Right, so what I was saying is like if you are here on the exception, which is the sort of exception E in lieu of H1B, you can do that. You can work here only if you are working for your company overseas that sends you here for, let's say, maybe oversee a project, or it's almost like a business meeting, right? It's not necessarily working here, even though you are working here in reality. It's not necessarily you don't have a employment with the US company. The moment you have employment contract with US company, let's say your company from overseas is sending you here to work for the local branch, then we're talking about different visa category, which is called L1B. And it's very important to distinguish these two, because if you work here and you work for a local branch here, then you need L1B. You cannot be on B in lieu of H1B. But if you're here just a temporary and you work for a company overseas, you're being paid by a company overseas while you are here, maybe overseeing a project, or you're here temporary, then it's okay. So really, like you need to understand the difference, the distinction. You know, what can you do? Because you don't want to be here. You don't want to overstay. You don't want to be here unauthorized, and later on it might affect your future. So you want to make sure that you are good. You want to make sure you understand the difference between different visa types, and you want to make sure that what you do here is legal. So I hope it makes sense. I want visit visa, I want visitor visa. If you want visitor visa, which is B1/B2, you have to really focus on establishing strong ties to your home country. Because think about this, like there are so many visitors coming here, and these days if you want to get a visitor visa, you have to show that really your intention is just to visit the country. And what is the strong proof of this intention is when you show that you have serious ties to your home country, meaning you have a family, you have a job, you have a business that you manage in your home country, and because of that you will return back home. So there is no suspicion going on that you will stay here. If you can establish that, and obviously you will be able to finance the trip, you should be able to get a B visa. On the other hand, if you cannot establish strong ties, and that is like number one reason of denials when it comes to B visa, is because you guys don't have strong ties. You gotta have strong ties, and it's not enough if you just have an invitation letter from a friend from United States, or it's not enough if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend here who is inviting you and even is paying for a trip. That's not, actually that is showing intent to immigrate here, because if you have a boyfriend, serious boyfriend, girlfriend here, or even if you have a fiancé here, then you need fiancé visa, which is totally different visa type, right? Because you are showing intent to immigrate here. B visa is for people that only want to come and visit temporary, and the intent is to return back home. So whatever evidence you're using must correspond to that intention. I hope it makes sense. So if you are able to establish strong ties, you should be good, you should receive the visa. Otherwise, obviously the refusal is there because due to the lack of strong ties to your home country. So yeah, so that will be the way to go. You can come here on B visa, and later if you want, you can change the status. You can go to school, you can enroll to school, and you can study. You can change the status from B to F visa, okay? And then later, maybe after school, you will be on OPT, and then you can start your business and stay here. And then from the visa like E2L, you can later apply for a green card. It's a process. It's going to take a couple of years maybe, but that's the way to go. So if you ask me like what's the easiest path, like is there an easy path? It's not that easy, it's not that straightforward, but this would be like the strategy to go. Obviously if you have family members here, they can sponsor you, but it depends. Like if it's a spouse, then it's fairly quick process. If you have a brother, sister here, then it might take some time. So I hope it makes sense. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them below. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. For those who want to learn more information, you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/immigrationbiz, and also you can check out my courses at immigrationbizacademy.com. I'm gonna post both links below. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have more questions, leave them below. And otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next live Q&A. Bye.